This is your best friend Hannah.
And this is your best friend Julia.
From the Film Roast Podcast, and you're listening to Is This Adulting?
Hey everybody, and welcome to Is This Adulting, a weekly conversation between two best friends navigating adulthood as overgrown man-children. I'm real sick this week, y'all. I'm best friend number one. I'm Stephen Pappas.
Hey, what's up? It's
God.
me, Teenage Heartthrob, Ryan Atwood, from the hit TV show in 2003, The OC. Sorry, best friend number two, Chris, couldn't make it. I'll be hanging out here today. Pan slow camera as I look slow. Wait, I can't.
Please don't do that the whole episode. Please don't.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm distracting everything because I can't get over the fact that my show from growing up, The OC, I found it online recently. It's been around for a while and I didn't know it, so I've been watching it like crazy.
Okay, well you're cutting into the time of wonderful people. So yeah, you gotta stop that. No, okay. So who are you? Did you say who you were?
I'm best friend Chris. Wait, best friend number two, Chris Grimmett.
There you go. You haven't said it in weeks, so I'm just making sure that everyone knows.
That's true.
Cool. Well, this week we are excited to welcome another guest to the party. We are lucky enough to be joined by the host of the Dirty Bits podcast, which is amazing, and for real, go check it out. It is like my wife's new favorite podcast, and it's so great. And a personal member of my little pod family, Tawny Platis. Tawny, thanks so much for hanging out with us.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be on with you, Stephen.
Not me,
with
though.
Chris.
Yeah, not me.
Not Chris, no.
Not after what I just did.
Not after you cut into her time like that. Her time is
No, it's
valuable.
really nice to meet you, Chris.
Oh my gosh, Chris. This is a professional we have with us this time. You can't take it off the rails.
Too late.
Yeah, no, I know. We're spiraling toward oblivion at this point. Well, we are going to get started on everything in just a second. But before we do that, Tawny, do you want to tell people where they can find you on the internet?
Absolutely. You can find us at our website, tawnyvoice.com/dirtybits. Also Facebook at facebook.com/dirtybitspodcast. Instagram.com/dirtybitspodcast. And twitter.com/thedirtybitspod. We also recently joined the Orbital Jigsaw Network, where you can listen in at orbitaljigsaw.com with a bunch of other cool shows.
You're so well prepared. And you just you shifted into Dirty Bits voice real fast. You were like, oh, hey guys, it's great. Hey, you can find us at...
It's so funny. It totally comes in with the acting thing, because you read so many different scripts a day, as a voice actor and auditions and everything. So it's Home Goods, and then I have my Lysol voice. It's on right away to clean up dirt and grime. It's so hard not to just go into those tones. So it's Dirty Bits. I'm oh yeah, the scandalous and salacious Dirty Bits podcast.
What are
so hard
what are
to,
other
stay.
voices? Now I'm curious. What are other character? You have a Home Goods voice and a Dirty Bits voice. Are those the only two? What are the others?
Okay,
there's.
I got one for you.
Okay.
Okay. Let's say that you are granddaughter and you're telling your grandmother that she didn't take her prune juice this morning. So how would that sound?
How old am I?
That's a good point. Let's just say that you're in your 20s. I'm not going to make you like a baby or anything. Grandma, prune juice.
So I'm in my 20s, and I'm Grandma didn't take her prune juice this morning.
So she's just a normal person.
No, there's because that's a commercial. I see is it a commercial for prune juice?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so it'd be
Grandma, it's a commercial
you didn't take your prune juice this morning. You know you have to take your prune juice, Grandma. Otherwise, you won't be healthy.
Shut up, granddaughter. I live by my own rules. Excuse me.
There she is, Althea Jenkins, Chris's old lady character.
I don't want you to tell me how to live my life. It's Varsity Blues, right?
Where did I just come up with Althea Jenkins, by the way? Is that a historical figure?
Granddaughter. Once again, I've taken off the rails. I apologize.
Yeah, you have. Just because I realized I didn't ask you, I just said, hey, tell them where they can find you. I didn't even tell you. Do you just want to give like a 30-second or like 60-second idea of what your show is to people? Just because
Oh,
sure
yeah,
they're just
sure.
like, is this about genitalia? Because it's just called the Dirty Bits. Like,
Like, what is this?
which kind of.
It is. I mean, it's, as I say, like, my show's not vulgar. It's cheeky. Like, I'll use the F word, but it's never in describing it, like, the act, really. I never say, like, they were, you know.
Right.
Are we allowed to say the F word on this show? Is this a family-friendly show?
That's up to Chris. I did find out today that I know a 12-year-old personally that listens, so.
I'll say Can I say effing? Is
Yeah,
that
of course
okay?
you can. Yeah, that
So, like, effing. So, like, I won't say, like, they were effing, but, like, I'll say, like, oh, he was doing calculus in his effing head. So it's, like, it's definitely, like, a PG-13 type of show, but it's not graphic by any stretch of the imagination. The most graphic is actually the primary sources that I'm using more than anything. But to answer your question before I derailed, so the Dirty Bits is basically me casually retelling the scandalous and salacious stories from history that your teacher hopefully left out if you were in high school or junior high. And we explore all of the different little dirty parts of history that people usually will skim over. So it's kind of like...
I seemed a little bit too intrigued by that. That's not what I was going for.
Interesting. Tell me more about this Catherine the Great.
It's little known sexy secrets about historic figures that you might not have known. Like, I was surprised at Hans Christian Andersen and Marie Curie's dirty little secrets in their closet.
I was surprised at the name of his netherjaya that Warren G. Harding called.
Oh, Jerry?
Yeah, he called his stuff Jerry.
He called it Jerry, and he talked about it as if it was a geographic location.
Wait, who did this?
This was Warren G. Harding, the president of the United States at one point.
Of course. Ugh.
You say that like you lived during his administration.
I retract my vote for him.
I remember the days of Harding.
No, that was just Grandma who just had the prune juice.
Oh my God! All right, we could do this all day.
I was gonna say you're gonna have a lot of editing to do on my part. I'm sorry.
No, well, see, here's the thing. I don't. I just
don't
leave it
edit
all
here.
in because I love it.
Oh God.
Yeah. So
incorporate
anything
all.
you say that's a mistake, don't worry. It
Okay,
will
well
be
then
there.
anybody listening to this expecting like professionalism from the voiceover, I'm hanging out with my friends.
Right. Yes. No. This is not professional, Tawny. I've heard professional, Tawny.
This is not professional voice actor, Tawny.
Right. This is and what's funny enough is every time they listen to me on the podcast, this is not professional anything, Stephen, because I'm a professional nothing. Anyway.
And I'm Chris.
Is that your like 80s intro? Like
Yeah,
you turn and wave at the camera like Full House style, like Oh my gosh, you're petting a horse or something?
I don't
Anyway.
pet horses. You should
No,
know
I don't
that.
pet horses either because they're terrifying creatures.
Yeah, they are.
Anyway, before we get into the topics and the mental health check-in and all that good stuff, it is time for what is it time for, Chris? What do you think?
Housekeeping.
Oh God, are we gonna do that every time
No,
for real?
this is my last one.
Okay. Maybe I won't even offer up the question of what we're gonna do.
Yeah,
next
you
time.
should.
Maybe I'll just roll into it because I don't want to give you the opportunity to just go for it. But yes, it's time for housekeeping. So first off, we want to say thanks to our past guests, the Film Roast Podcast, for their audio drop at the beginning of the episode. If you would like to do that, as always, you can send us an email at isthisadultingpod@gmail.com. And you can just record an audio file of yourself on your phone or on your computer saying, hey, this is your best friend, whoever, from wherever, and you're listening to Is This Adulting? And those are great. We're really excited whenever we get any of those. Also, want to give a huge shout out to our newest supporter on Patreon, Katie. Thanks so much. Remember, giving at the $5 level or more gets you not only bonus content, gets you a shout out on here. If you give it the $10 level, I'm just saying, people, if you give it the $10 level, I will personally color you a nerdy superhero picture and write you a handwritten note and mail it to you. A couple people have those, and I'm basically a coloring master. So anyway, plug, shameless plug.
Yeah, I'll throw in a new incentive that I've just
God.
made up on the top of my head.
Okay.
And that is, if you give, I don't even know the number, let's say more than 10. Let's say if you give $11, then I'll do whatever voice you want me to do
For the whole podcast? Or
I don't know. I guess
Please don't say
is that an incentive? I don't know. It might be. It might not.
It might be. It might not. Or he'll just do that anyway because it's Chris.
Or if you pay $11, I'll not do another voice. I can't even say that with a straight face. There's no way I could do that.
So, Tawny, of all the podcasts that you've guested on, this is definitely the least professional, right?
The least professional of all the podcasts.
Oh,
I've
come
guested
on. Yeah,
on?
you
No,
know the
I don't
answer's
think
yes.
so.
Tawny, okay.
so.
Okay, let me just tell you what you
Definitely
did.
one of the more fun ones.
Tawny, so you just repeated our question to help give you more time to figure out how to prevent yourself. It's like,
Yes.
hey, do you think I'm cute? Do I think you're cute? That's such an interesting thing to ask. See, we know what you did. We caught you. It's all right.
Yes.
Yes,
Anyway.
we're the most unprofessional. We did it.
That was my fault. I took us off the path again. I'm sorry. One more thing, or two more things. Last week, we passed 25,000 all-time downloads, which is super exciting, and I freaked the hell out. So thank you all so much for listening. I kept telling people we did it in just over 4 months, and then I was on another podcast, and he's like, yeah, you're not mathing good, dude. You did it in just over 3 months. And I was like, oh.
Whoa.
Okay, math is hard. Apparently, I didn't know when we started our own podcast. So in just over 3 months, 25,000 is awesome, and we could not be more grateful to you guys and gals for everything you do. So thank you so much. Honestly, that number, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. And it keeps going up because you're awesome. So thank you. Now, one more piece of housekeeping. Haley, the famed Haley, she's gotten like 4 shout outs on this show over the time that we've been doing it because Haley is a very close personal friend of mine and Chris's.
Don't speak for me.
Okay, sorry. Chris doesn't like her.
I love you, Haley.
No, she was one of my groomsmaids in Katie and I's wedding, and she's a wonderful human being. So she has apparently told me her goal is to just get a shout out every episode. And I'm not going to actually do that just because she asked for it. But she did tell me something pertinent to last week's conversation, which is the company that she works for has an agreement or a contract with the minor league baseball team, the Savannah Bananas.
Whoa.
And she has hung out with, apparently his name is Peel.
She's hung out with the banana?
Yeah, he has an 8-pack, and apparently she will be working closely with Peel and Peel the banana. And so I told her she's going to have to keep us updated.
Interesting. I want to know more about Peel. What's his story?
I don't know. What do you have a Peel voice? Plawny. Plawny is your name now.
Yeah, Plawny, give us Peel voices.
I'm Tahini on closed caption on YouTube. I'm Tahini Platis.
That's true. I saw that, and I was like, oh, tahini. And my first thought was like, yum. And then I was like, that's weird.
Yep, let's keep going.
Anywho, we are going to start off this week, just like we do every week, with a mental health check-in. And every week before we record with a guest, we ask them if they would like to participate in this. And I can edit this out if you would like me to, Tawny. But I forgot to actually ask you if you would like to participate in this. So Chris is going to go first and then throw it over to you if you're cool with that.
That sounds good to me.
Cool. I'm going to leave it in then. So, Chris, how's your mental health been this week? Oh, God.
I don't know. I mean, sorry, I'm done.
No. Mental health check-in. That's time for real.
I am going to be real. Sorry, I just had to because that's such an emotional show. Let's see here. This week, it started well. And it ended well, but it definitely in the middle was really, really rough. So just to kind of give you, there's only so much I'm able to say about this, and I really hate that sometimes I have to be broad, but sometimes I'm not really allowed to say, but I want to be as vulnerable as I can. So I had a situation at work happen this week where it wasn't with anyone I worked with. It was someone came into our office, and long story short, I just had a really horrible situation happen where this older gentleman just said some deeply graphic and offensive things about 2 of my female coworkers. And it just rattled me a whole lot, and it rattled me for a lot of different reasons. Not so much out of shock that this happens, because I'm painfully aware that this is something that for women they deal with on a regular basis. I think the thing that rattled me the most was like just feeling like in that moment I struggled with what exactly to do, because my first reaction was, dude, you need to get the hell out of here. But struggling with that, and wait, I'm actually on the clock, and so I have to represent more than just me. And so it's a long story. We're in the process of getting all that figured out, but I feel really supported by everyone at work, but still I've just been overwhelmed by a lot of guilt of me not doing what I wanted to do, and that was say something probably even worse than that, / throw a punch or two, just because I was so frustrated and angry. And so it's just been really like just filling me with guilt over the last I guess like half a week or so. And so I mean, everything's okay, but it was another thing that rattled me, and it kind of reminded me of some times in the past where sometimes when you're struggling, you can find yourself just feeling helpless, and sometimes it's helpless over the things that you're stressed or insecure about. Sometimes it's helpless. You can feel helpless for a different reason. And this time I felt helpless in a different reason because I didn't do more. And I'm just very ashamed that I didn't do more. And so I'm not sharing that because I'm wanting either one of you to say, oh, I know that you did the best you could. That's not what I'm getting at. For me, it's just more of the real frustration that happens when, there's so many things in this world that can leave you feeling helpless, that it feels like you could be doing more, but sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. And so just this week it's been a lot of that. So that was hard, but I can say, as I've been joking more than once, ironically, that show, The OC, just I happened to find, and it's, believe me, I'm not saying it's the best show in the entire world. That is by no means what I'm getting at. It's more of just like a nostalgic thing. And in the midst of having a rough week, sometimes having, bits of nostalgia is really good. And coupled that with, it was my wife's birthday this week, and we got to hang out with a bunch of friends. And it was just all around a good way to end what started out to be a really, really bad week. So that's me. How about you, Tawny?
As far as my week went, my husband has a congenital heart disease, so that means he has one ventricle instead of two. He has 3 chambers in his heart instead of 4. He's had a Fontaine procedure done. He's had multiple open heart surgeries, and it's something, and dextrocardia, which means and dextrocardia, which basically means that his heart is like a mirror image of what it should be. So instead of pointing the correct way, it's pointing like the opposite way. So his heart's like kind of like in a weird spot on his chest. And this past like few months, he's been having a lot of like trouble with it. And he had SVTs this week, which means his heart starts like racing. So it's not really beating. It's just kind of like going like kind of like a consistent like beat like that. Which is always really scary. Every time that happens, he thinks he's going to die. It could be that time. So what he does is he takes beta blockers, which have always stopped it. But while he's taking the beta blockers, it takes about like 20 to 30 minutes for them to kick in. So we head to the ER, and then we go and we wait outside the ER and we make sure the beta blockers work, because if they don't, we got to go take him into the ER. And that happened this week, and it was kind of a milestone because it hasn't happened in a little while, to where it was like the severe, like sometimes he'll get an SVT and like he'll like be like, whoa, and it'll stop. But this time they weren't stopping. So it was like one of those, okay, let's go to the ER, because the one beta blocker didn't do the trick. So, it's not just, it happened once or twice and then it stopped. It's like, okay, it's ongoing. We might need to go to the ER. And he was really scared because that hasn't happened in a long time. And I don't know if it's just from the amount of times now having, like, I don't want to say dealt with it, but having experienced it with him. I didn't drive like a maniac. I drove really well to the ER. I was like, he said I was really calm and I was really reassuring. I was able to kind of, be his rock. And I usually, after that happens, I go break down, and I have a hard time. I'm usually shaking while it's happening. I'm trying not to cry because I'm scared too, and it's his body. So I'm never totally sure if I'm okay, no, we need to go to the ER right this second. I have to totally go off of what he's just telling me and, be supportive.
Right.
And the beta blockers worked, thank God. And like we do this thing where we like drive around a little bit, like kind of near the ER, like around the block, just in case, we like give it 45 minutes, and it's like really soothing to like the motion of the car for him. And that happened, and like I just dealt with it. And like I said, I usually like have a really hard time with it, and I'll go like break down even after that, and I'll be like kind of off for some days and kind of freaking out. And I've just been like, no, the beta blockers work every time. You're going to be fine. It's going to be fine. And it was kind of one of those, like, I don't necessarily like believe this, but this is like what it felt like, as I was like willing it to work. I was like, no, this is going to work. This is going to be fine. Yeah, no, not the time yet, and it just like that like strength kind of just like kind of carried me on. And I like keep waiting and giving myself the opportunity to like break down, and it just hasn't happened. I've just been okay. And I'm like, oh my God, I think this is what my therapist has been talking about for like the last like 3 years. I was like, I think I hit the point. So it was kind of a weird week, because it was scary, but at the same time it was like, and and I feel like I don't want to take that away from him too, because that's like his issue he's going through. But like as far as like being a supportive partner, I feel like I kind of like leveled up. So it was exciting. So
awesome.
That's what's going on in the Platis house.
Well, I'm glad that everything's going well, and that you leveled up. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Steven, how about you, man?
I'm not gonna lie, it's been a bad week. Negativity corner over here again. Not been great. It started out all right. Was doing all right. Went to my therapist and actually like let go of some stuff and relaxed for the first time in God knows how long, which was really good. And then a few days ago from when we are recording this, as most of you probably know, the news broke that Chester Bennington, the lead singer from Linkin Park, committed suicide. And that messed me up pretty bad, because I grew up listening to Linkin Park. I grew up a big Linkin Park fan. Yeah, I'm saying it. I got made fun of sort of in high school for that. So, whatever. But like, I felt like the angsty lyrics at the time, like, and the emotion in his voice and in the lyrics, like, really resonated with me, and something I needed, during high school specifically, but even into college. And musically, they changed styles a few times, and I thought that was interesting, and I just always really respected him and the band. And so when that happened, that kind of put me in a funk for a few days. And then it just seemed like from Thursday on, like every day it was nonstop go, go, go. I didn't have a moment to calm down. And I think, it was down to, yesterday was a rough day because I went and hung out with my family, like my extended family, which was really cool. But it was at a park. It was 100 degrees outside with like 80% humidity. And it sucked. And heat is one of my triggers for my panic disorder. So like I started like freaking out, and that was rough. I did get a picture with an Ewok because there was a cosplaying group there that was taking pictures in the park. So that kind of like was a good like up, I guess. But like I just kind of got rocked midweek, and I didn't really recover from it, and I haven't let myself recover from it. I just haven't. And I think Tawny would call me out for not being completely honest. If I didn't like come out and say like, yeah, Friday night I had some not so good thoughts. I was in a bad headspace. And I only say that because Tawny is one of the people that I reached out to, just because I had been talking to her, and I said, hey, can I just put something out there? And I was like, I'm in a bad headspace. Like my head is not in a stable space. I need to talk to somebody. And so, and that kind of happens sometimes, especially when well-known people I respected, people I felt ties to, you see things like that happen. And so I would just urge you, I wrote it down over here, just if you are ever thinking about any sort of life-ending action or anything like that, please, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, the phone number is 1-800-273-8255. call that number, call another prevention number, call a friend, call a family member, just chat with them, because nobody needs to give up. There's no reason to give up. And I think a lot of us have seen this week the heartbreak that kind of comes after somebody gives up on living and decides that they don't want to do it anymore. And it's a tough thing. So that kind of brought me down this week, but I'm doing okay. I got to get through today. Like I told you at the beginning of the episode, super sick. And I think it's honestly stress from the last 4 days. And I think if I can just have a day to unwind, I'll be good. And I'll kind of bounce back a little bit. So not uplifting this week, but, I'll get there. I'll be all right. So as always, if you have a mental health check-in you'd like to share, or an idea of how we can encourage you throughout the week, or you just want to talk to somebody, I tell you every episode, we're not professionals, but you can email us at isthisadultingpod@gmail.com. You can join the Is This Adulting Best Friends on Facebook. That's a really supportive place where you can just drop in and say, hey, having a bad day. I know when that news broke, a lot of people dropped in and said, hey, this is really messing with me, and we all just kind of came together to kind of move past that. And so, yeah, it's a really cool place. So just always know there are options out there. And please, please, please exhaust every resource that you have. So I know that was very serious. And then I'm going to go into something not so super serious.
Do you need like a transition or something?
No, don't you play the OC music. I swear to God, Chris.
Okay. All right.
So as every week where we have a guest, we bring a topic, we play a game, and then our guest brings a topic. And so first we always do our topic. So this week we are going to talk about tattoos.
Ooh.
So I think that's something that Tawny knows a little bit about, I think.
A little.
Maybe. You have way cooler, more badass tattoos than I do.
I have a couple.
Just a couple?
I have a couple of tattoos.
Yeah, just a few. Would you like to tell everybody how many you actually have?
Yeah. My entire left arm is covered actually in different designs from Hayao Miyazaki, the film director.
Oh, that's awesome.
An incredible artist. Yeah, unfortunately I couldn't, they're on my Facebook if anybody gets really snoopy, but I have Ponyo and No Face is on there with Howl's Moving Castle and Totoro and the deer head, and it looks like a storyboard on my left arm. And then I also have a little one on my wrist that I designed, which is this kind of geometrical triangle heart loopy thing that is representative of me and my two siblings.
Cool.
So that's what I have right now presently.
So just two, yeah. So it's just one big one.
Just two, really.
One really big, long tattoo, and then the one on your wrist. Cool.
I have one big one and one little one.
Steven, how many do you have now? I can't keep count.
When we filmed that little promo video for the podcast, I said I had 5. Turns out one of the guys called me out on it. I had 6, and actually since then I've gotten 2 more, so I'm up to 8.
Wow.
And I'm basically, up until the last 2, I've been very symmetrical. I got one on my right forearm, so I had to get one on my left forearm. I got one on my right shoulder, so I had to get one on my left shoulder. My inner biceps have the Star Wars symbols on them. I was just there's lots of Star Wars symbols. The symbols for the Rebel Alliance and the Imperial symbol, and those things. Anyway, and then I have a big memorial piece for my dad on my left arm that I got this past January. And it's a huge Spider-Man, which to most people sounds really weird to be a memorial piece, but it is, and deal with it. Other than that, yeah, I'm up to 8 now. And Chris, how many tattoos do you have?
Well, if you count temporary tattoos, then 100. No. So I actually have no tattoos. But for me, it's something that I'm always really interested in the different reasons why people get tattoos, the ones that they get. And for me, I've always been a person that has never been against tattoos. I know a lot of people in my family are, but for me, I really like them. I get on deep dive sometimes with like Ink Master or one of those shows where I just love the idea of tattoos. And for me, I know that if I end up getting one, I would end up getting a whole sleeve as well, just like you, Tawny. Just because I like the look of that. But my main thing is I haven't found that one thing yet that speaks enough to me that I want it to be just on my body. And so I'm still kind of looking for that. But I'm just kind of curious for you. I mean, I don't know. I kind of want to talk about a couple different stuff. I was curious about, has tattoos always been a taboo thing where you're from, or have they been really widely accepted? Or I'm just kind of curious about what got you to the point of getting a tattoo.
Oh, that's a big question. Because of where I grew up, it's a little bit of a mixed bag too. Like people like often think San Diego's like really super liberal, hippy dippy, and it most certainly is not. There's like parts of San Diego that are like that. There's a lot of conservatives. So I've had like kind of mixed reactions. I've had mixed opinions. It's kind of been a mixed bag. I'm sure I'm like I said, I've pretty much only lived here my whole life. So I don't really know, like, in comparison to anywhere else, somebody might be like, what are you talking about? Like, somebody just, like, didn't like your tattoo or, whatever. But, like, compared to, like, what people might say elsewhere. But it's not quite as, like, accepting as you would think it would be, I guess. It's not terrible. But, yeah, like, I had gotten this one. I started to get this in my early 20s. I had seen Miyazaki movies. And they had a huge impact on my life. They really affected me. His films really affected me. I loved the artwork. It was something I had, both of my tattoos actually, were something that I had been wanting since I was like 16. I designed the one on my wrist, and it was something that like after years and years and years and years, I still wanted it. So I was like, I'm definitely getting it. And it's something that I feel really strongly about, like kind of having it in your head for a really long time and then getting it. To each their own, of course, but that's just a personal one for me. It's like, okay, so it's been 6 years and I still want this tattoo. I'm going to get this tattoo. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think it does. I mean, Stephen, how about for you? I mean, I know that, we grew up in the South where it's starting to get a little bit more accepting, but I would say predominantly that's not the case in the South. It's kind of looked at with a lot of just connotations to it. So I'm just kind of curious about, for you, Stephen. I mean, I was with you when you got your first tattoo. We can tell that story if we want.
You asked the artist if basically what you do for a living is just glorified coloring.
I didn't.
God.
Hold on. No, you're making it sound like I was being sarcastic, though. I was not. Like, that wasn't my first question. I was just really interested in the art form. Art form. And so I was kind of talking for a while, and it was a very specific reason why I said that.
But you did say it.
I did say it.
And I was just like, oh my God, he's going to just drag this needle across my arm.
It was while you were in the process of getting your tattoo, though. I'm not sure how he felt about me.
I don't know. I think he actually enjoyed it because his response was to, like, I was like, dude, don't say that. And his response was like, nah, I mean, he's right.
Was it really? He said that?
I was referring to when you're having to do like flash art. That's what I was referring to. So when it's not your own creative art that you're getting to do, but it's more of
stencil work and shading.
Stencil work, and you're just having to fill in a very specific image that the person's wanting. I was like, then is it more glorified coloring? Do you feel like, do you enjoy that, or is it frustrating? That's what I meant. You're making out of context. It sounds like I was just insulting him.
No, that makes more sense, Chris. I totally get that.
Thank you. I
Welcome.
Appreciate that. But yeah, Stephen. So I mean, for you, how did family, how did people that you grew up feel when you first started getting tattoos?
I mean, my folks weren't really all about it. They didn't really want me to get tattoos. I remember I just kind of told my mom, like, I literally called her. I had an appointment at 7:00 that night to go get it done, and I called her at like 6:45. I was like, so getting a tattoo tonight, so love you, bye, and just hung up. And then I actually had gone home that weekend for lunch, and so like I just went home for lunch. No, I went home that weekend, and I met her for lunch on the way out or into town, and I remember she got there before me, and like I just kind of like had my arm down, just kind of like slid into the booth, like real chill like, and she just kind of stared at me for a second. Was like, "Well, let's see it." I was like, all right. And like her response, I was like, here we go. And like I pulled my arm up over the table, and her response was like, oh, I kind of like that. And I was like, what? Not the response I was expecting. She's like, please don't get any more. And that didn't stick. But no, I mean, it was, my parents were kind of just like, you know, do whatever you want. It's up to you. But no, there's a stigma, and just like they were joking around, but like for instance yesterday when I met at that park and it was super hot, I wore like a bro tank there because I was like, I'm gonna be real hot out in the sun, so I wore like a bro tank and basketball shorts, and unfortunately it was not a Bro to the Bro Ghost tank available at the merch store for Is This Adulting. Hashtag shameless plug. No, I wore a tank top, and like I think that's the first time a lot of my family had seen like the tattoos on my upper arms, and they were just like, who's the biker like coming? I was like, really? That's where you're going with like people with a bunch of tattoos of like the biker? I was like, no, I'm just hot and I keep them hidden from you usually. And the response is always like, is that one new? And I'm like, new like 2 years ago, but you just don't see it very often. Or like in some cases, yes, that one's from 3 weeks ago. But
so some of your tattoos you're able to hide. I know that, Tawny, you know, it's not quite as easy to hide yours, and so I'm curious. Like I've seen this so often. I've even found myself doing this before, where people treat tattoos the same way they treat pregnant women, and they're like, "Ooh, can I touch?" And immediately they just like touch, and then want to start looking. Have you had much of that experience?
You've done that.
I've absolutely had that happen to me. It is the most jarring thing. Like I'll be standing in line for something and somebody just grabs my arm and they're like, wow, this is so pretty. And I'm like, whoa, that's my body. Thanks. You know, and it's this really odd, like, I can only imagine that the mindset is they're like, well, you're putting it on display. Don't you want it to be addressed? I'm like, you know, saying, pardon me, can I ask you about your tattoos is different than twisting my arm around so you can see where the dragon ends. You know what I mean? It's really abrasive and jarring. Like, and not to mention, I previously, with the tattoos, I had 6 facial piercings too. So I think I had 2 in my lip, 2 in my nose, and then 2 in my eyebrow. And then
so it was kind of like diagonal, like tic-tac-toe.
Yeah, it went like that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's cool.
I loved them. I liked them a lot.
Why are they gone?
Just, you know, starting a new career. The last one, I started my business and had it established, and then decided to get all the tattoos and piercings and everything afterwards, because I'm just like, well, you know, what are you going to do now? You already like me. But starting a new business is a little bit different. I wanted the option to be able to cover up a little bit more, and people do treat you differently when you, with this, I can wear long sleeves and I'm good to go. Nobody's the wiser. You know what I mean? You come at somebody with a face full of metal and stretched ears, and it's, you know, they treat you differently. Like that was where I had more issues than my tattoos. My tattoos were easier to cover than, you know, a bunch of metal in my face. Here it's like you had mentioned the biker thing, Stephen, and here it's more about being, they call it trashy. You know, you look trashy is what they'll say. Like, you know, with the tattoos and piercings, it's really trashy. You know, I don't know if it's like a woman versus man thing or something like that, or how they speak about it differently in different places. But like for me, it was always trashy. Like, or
I hear that.
I've been told that pretty girls don't need to pierce facial piercings. Pretty girls don't need facial piercings.
I think that is a male female thing too. I think I've heard trashy as far as tattoos on women a lot, which is not cool. Because I'm always like, or badass. Like that's always the way I've looked at it. I'm like, no, it's really cool. Like it's just art on a person's body. Like I've never really seen the connotations and the stigma that comes with it, because I'm just like, but it's cool pictures, and like,
I mean, yeah, you know, it's art.
Yeah, one. Okay, so the first one I got, it started out. I was like, it has meaning. It has this. It has it. And most of them have meaning, but at the same time, sometimes I'm just like, you know what? I just want a new tattoo. And so I get a new tattoo. When I have money, which is not very often. I used to do that.
All right, I do have a question for you.
Okay.
What is the weirdest tattoo you've ever seen?
Wait, me or Steven?
Both.
The weirdest tattoo I've ever seen?
Yes.
I can't say it on a family-friendly show.
Oh.
The places I've gotten I have a bit of a history. The places I've gotten my tattoos and piercings, there's some characters there. So it's the craziest things I've seen have been very graphic and vulgar.
Oh, okay.
tattoos.
Okay.
I'm trying to think about craziest beside that I can say on this show.
No. I can't say the one I'm going to say on a family-friendly show, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Okay.
You know the craziest one I've seen, Chris, because it was in a documentary. Yep, was shot for your freshman year film class.
I completely forgot about that.
They had you all film documentaries. Your documentary was about OCD, and you used me as the subject. But
hey, you got to work with what you got, right?
Yeah, exactly. You did terrible things to me during that time. But
all right, calm down.
Well, no, it's just very exploitative. No. It was.
Anyway, go and tell this disgusting tattoo that I know.
Yeah, so one of the girls in your class did a documentary on tattoos. And so she had gone to the different tattoo parlors in Boone and asked, hey, like, what's the weirdest tattoo you've ever done? And the artist at, was it Inklink? I think I can say their name because they're shut down now. But
it was one of them.
Yeah, the artist at Inklink said that he did a barbed wire G-string on a 90-year-old man.
Yeah, he said like the whole thing.
Yeah, like all of it. Just all
like
of
every
it.
possible crevice that could exist for an old man and a G-string. Oh, it's gross. And it was like apparently realistic. Oh.
Yeah. So that's the weirdest one I've ever, because there were pictures in the documentary that I have never been able to unsee.
Not of certain areas, though.
No,
there were certain
but
areas
close
that were
enough
left
that
to the
it was,
imagination.
Yeah, certain areas, but close enough that I didn't have to imagine too much.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, you know what? Just so we don't have to continue to talk about that painful image, we're going to move into our game. Because our
it's game time.
We're going to the game because it's actually inspired by that question. I refer to this game as inspired from actually Jimmy Fallon's character. I call this Tat. Yeah.
Oh God.
So this is a game where I'm going to provide you different genres of realistic, real life, horrible tattoos that people have gotten, and you have to tell me which one is real and which one is fake. And then for the extra point, you get to guess where the location of it was. So this is how we're going to do it, though. So it's of course it's Steven versus Tawny. Tawny, I wish you the best. Steven, congrats, you're playing. So that's the best I could come up with. So, however, it's very important to me that I have a very specific noise for the buzzer. I always give people a noise for their buzzer. You can't just simply buzz. So I need you both to do your best impersonation of Jimmy Fallon's character. Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah, right now.
You.
Okay, nope. I'm not going to call on you if you do that.
The you from SNL, right?
Yeah, or his little like character that is where it's like a 12-year-old teenage girl and everything is disgusting. Yeah.
And he go like, I haven't heard it in so long. Doesn't he go? Ew.
No, he doesn't do that. He literally goes.
It's very much a. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Perfect. See, I just need to make sure that you're going to do it. So
this is audio just nightmare for whoever's listening to this
podcast.
podcast.
Okay.
It's just like,
all right,
give him a heads up. Turn down your volume.
Everyone, here we go. It starts with our first genre. I figured I would start with a more basic one. After all, this is very popular in the tattoo world, and that is
I'm
the
guessing
genre.
If this is real or not, right?
Yeah, I'm going to.
I became distracted.
Well, the first genre. The first genre is horror horror. How do you pronounce it? Horror. I can't, I'm not a voice actor like someone else in this call. So, so now that you understand what the genre is, I'm going to describe 2 tattoos. One is real, one is not. One is just in my imagination.
Okay.
And then afterwards, I've said both. The first person to buzz in, I call on you. Best of luck to you both, and the speeds of your Wi-Fi, because that might depend on who I select first. Is this real or not? It's either a cartoon depiction of the movie Human Centipede, or the girl from The Ring twerking.
Yeah.
Steven?
Is it the girl from The Ring twerking?
It is not.
Dang it!
You are incorrect. However, Steven, because you got it correct, or you at least guessed first, you get to guess the location to still get a point. If not, Tawny, you can also guess the location to steal a point. So
is this the location of the Human Centipede tattoo?
Yes, it's, and then I'm going to show you the picture.
Okay. There's an obvious answer for me, but I'm not sure I want to say that.
For those who are not familiar with what Human Centipede is,
No.
pretty much it's a horror movie where an evil doctor,
Tawny can't handle it.
An evil doctor, for some reason, makes humans his experiment by connecting everyone's mouth holes to another person's butthole. And it's one of those cool like chain link stories, but with humans and buttholes.
You're breaking her. You're breaking Tawny.
Yeah. So
I'm like gagging in the corner. I know
it's a
of
cartoon
this. I've
version.
never been able to.
It's a cartoon version, so you don't have to worry about a very realistic version or anything.
That's enough.
But you have to guess of where the location is, Steven. Any guesses?
I'm not gonna guess what I want to guess.
Go where you think the Human Centipede is.
Well, my first guess would be a butt tattoo, but using the actual butthole. But I don't want to. I don't want. It's disturbing.
Well, is that your guess or not? Otherwise, you're giving me 2 guesses, my friend.
Fine, that's my guess.
That is incorrect. Tawny, you get a guess to steal a point. Otherwise, you're both 0-0.
Okay. Is it a tramp stamp?
It is not. It is actually.
Can I throw out one more guess, but not for a point?
Sure, why not?
Did they use the belly button in some really creative way?
No, you would think so, but it's actually a far more stupid place. It is on the top of both of their feet.
Why?
Or not?
Why?
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a share screen so you can experience this firsthand. You now should be able to see Steven, and I'm going to swipe over here and look at this beautiful human centipede.
That's really actually not that disgusting. It's just really odd looking.
It's cartoons, and there's an arrow that points which place it goes in, and there's a fun little colon journey that you get to experience all the way. So that is.
I don't think Tawny's looking at it.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's too late. I don't want to look at it anymore. I'm the one that's had it on my computer.
It does, by the way. It did just kind of look like a cave painting of 3 men.
That's all it takes for me. I'm incredibly imaginative. That's all I need. So.
All right. So we're gonna go a little bit of a different place. We went horror this first time, and that was a little bit rough. So we're going to try and go inspirational, since clearly this genre is one that tends to be put to inspire people. So this next one is Jesus portraits. So. It's one of these two, so get your buzzers ready. It is either an Incredible Hulk-esque strong-looking Jesus who is literally ripping himself off the cross, or Jesus while on the Sermon on the Mount doing the dab.
Oh.
Okay, Tawny.
Jesus on the Sermon on the Mount doing the dab.
That is incorrect. I'm sorry. I was just so...
I wanted it to be the other one.
Yeah. However, I actually purposely kept part of this out because if I had said this, there would have been no way that you would not have guessed that this was real, because there's no way a human could ever make up something like this. And that is actually above the very intense picture that you're about to see, a very, very strong Jesus ripping himself off the cross, is a realistic lipstick mark. I'm not. It's clearly a different tattoo, but it's just strange that both would be there. So, Tawny, you still get a guess though for a point. Do you know where the location is? Stephen, get your buzzer ready.
I have to buzz for that?
Not
Is
really,
it
but it's more
on
fun.
the bicep?
It is not.
Oh,
Stephen, you get a guess.
Full back piece.
Y'all are 0 for 2 so far. It is not. It is actually on the chest. And goodness, is it a big old piece. So get ready for this. So I hope that you enjoy gigantic Jesus ripping himself off a cross.
oh, that's terrible.
Do you see the little lipstick thing there?
Oh my gosh.
I don't even really know what it's for, but that is the strongest Jesus I've ever seen in my time. Oh, also, I didn't even see this before. The Jesus is standing on the ground. Did you see that?
That's, oh my God, it's so intense.
Yeah, it is a
That's
very,
so
very intense
funny.
Jesus. It's less inspiring and more scary. However, I feel though that y'all haven't been doing so great so far with this game. That is true, but I think you can turn it around. Are you ready for the next one? I call this genre East Coast rap versus West.
Oh,
So
Good.
It is one of these two. Get your buzzers ready. It is either a majestic unicorn with the face of Tupac Shakur, or it's the Kool-Aid Man busting through a brick wall, partnered by Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah.
Steven?
Kool-Aid Man B.I.G.
You are incorrect.
Oh, come on.
yeah. I knew it.
I've been
Too
so
slow.
tricky. Y'all have really been going for my
It was the use of the word majestic that threw me off because I was like, that's something Chris would make up.
I know, that's why I did it. I'm so smart.
I'm like 90% sure I've seen that tattoo.
Have you? Good. Well,
The majestic unicorn with Tupac's face.
yep. Well, okay, Steven, you can still get a point because someone's going to need to get a point eventually. Otherwise, this is going to be a very strange game. And that is, Steven, can you guess where Tupac is located?
Back piece.
Incorrect. Tawny, can you take it? For the first point.
I am trying to remember where I saw this. Is it on the ribs area, like the side?
It is unfortunately not. Y'all, this has
Shameful?
not been y'all's best day, that's for sure. I even tested this out beforehand, and everyone else did pretty well. So this is just an embarrassment of both of you.
And we have tattoos.
I know. Actually, yeah. I don't know if anyone has a tattoo that I played with.
Just don't,
That's so
don't
funny.
look at me.
All right, here we go. So get ready for part unicorn, part Tupac Shakur. Is that not
Oh,
beautiful?
that's amazing.
It's so beautiful.
I mean, that's why I had to add the word majestic, because it is truly beautiful. It's a very realistic piece.
He's glorious.
You almost saw stuff, but luckily you didn't. Well, finally, there was going to be only 4 categories. I have a tiebreaker just in case, and it's looking like we may need that tiebreaker the way that things are going. So, finally, I call this genre celebrity grievances.
Okay.
It is either a list of things that this person hates about Jerry Seinfeld, or it's a death threat for Ray Romano.
L.
Tawny.
Is it a list of things that they hate about Jerry Seinfeld?
No, it's not. No one's gonna get him.
That was what I would have guessed too.
Well,
Somebody really got a tattoo of a death threat against Ray Romano on their body?
well, so all right, it's time for you to guess. On their body. So you to get a point, because I'm trying to hand them out now. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. I might have to start giving hints or something. Let me just say that no, I'm not gonna give a hint because it's too obvious if I give a hint. So, any guesses, Tawny, where this death threat for Ray Romano lives?
That could only be on, like, the shoulder blade. Like, the back right here. That's the old. It must be. It's the only place you would want to put it.
It's interesting that you have such an opinion about the location that a death threat for Ray Romano must be. Unfortunately, it's not on the shoulder.
Well, then it's not legitimate death threat.
Well, you may be surprised when you find out where it is. Stephen, any guesses where this death threat is located?
Face.
Oh, whoa.
No, I'm kidding. I'm really kidding. I would say maybe a forearm.
It is not.
God.
Not even 1 point.
Is it the leg?
It is not. It is it is in the place that, well, let's just say Ray Romano would definitely be surprised the same way that would be, and that is that it is located on the lower back.
Oh, I was so close.
I need y'all to know that this is some of the biggest
I see.
Font, all caps, says "I'm gonna kill you, Ray Romano."
See, I was imagining a manifesto, here are all the reasons why you should die and exactly what I'm gonna do to you. I was imagining a paragraph.
You know what? Instead, they just kept it nice and simple. They said,
Right,
"Look, Ray, I'm gonna kill you. It's
you.
not I'm going to kill you. It's I'm gonna." So they were. I don't know. So, well, y'all, we're gonna have to go to tiebreaker, and if none of you get this, I may have to retire this game. I was not expecting, literally not either. My decoys were too good, or y'all are just embarrassment to games everywhere. I'm gonna say, it might be both. So finally,
I think Steven and I have really good taste in tattoos. We just can't fathom that anybody would get something so silly on their body.
Sounds like it.
That is good. So for the tiebreaker, all right. Let's hopefully that someone can get a point, because this has become painful audio quite quickly. There's probably people listening right now who have gotten every single one right. They're like, I don't get why this is so hard. So the tiebreaker, with your buzzers. Not in hand, in mouth, I guess is
in mouth.
What you described.
Weird. Okay.
Yep. The tiebreaker category is fast food, and it is either a portrait of the entire menu of Kentucky Fried Chicken, or it's a receipt from a trip to McDonald's.
Yeah.
Steven?
I'm so scared.
Steven?
The entire menu of Kentucky Fried Chicken.
No!
God! I still can win it though if I guess where this receipt is.
You know what? That is true. That is true. So are you going to guess and surprise us all with the last possible chance to win the game?
Is it on their calf?
Clearly you're not going to win because that's not where it is. So Tawny, please, for us all, I want you to think about places that, there's no reason why you've ever thought, hey, a receipt needs to be on a human body. But if it did, where would you put that receipt?
See, that's my issue is I can't really put myself that many standard deviations lower of my IQ to fathom,
Actually, that's one of our listeners. So he's going to be real upset about that. So thanks, Tawny.
The receipt?
No, I don't know.
Oh.
Come on, Tawny. I am trying to channel it to you so that you get at least one correctly for either one.
Okay. Is a forearm? No! Yes!
Whoa. Excuse me for making the audio clap like that, but it was worth it. Congratulations. Out of nowhere, in the last possible second, Tawny heaved a three-pointer and won the game. You are now about to see a McDonald's receipt.
I really hope this isn't one of the listeners. I'm so sorry if it is.
On a person's forearm. Oh, that's still Ray Romano. So 1 second.
We're still going to kill Ray.
I am scared to even look at that. 1 second. Where is it at? Aha, I found it. That scared me because I just saw I'm going to kill you. And I was like, oh my God, it was on my computer. Here we go. This is the receipt from McDonald's. No joke.
God.
That's literally time, place. And this also was, must not have been, in the United States because
a soda's not $25.
Yeah, it's some other metric. But whatever it is, It's a receipt, all right, and it's a pretty large receipt.
That's incredible.
I really want McDonald's right now.
I was not prepared for the game to only be 1-0. But Tawny, with that, congratulations. You have won the first and, depending on how people receive this, the only time of the game of Tat. Yeah. Until next time.
Oh God.
That was so embarrassing for us, Stephen.
I know. My
That
whole
was
life is an
bad.
embarrassment.
No, it's not.
Okay.
I think we just need to transition.
Oh God.
Sorry,
Copyright strike from Fox or whoever.
I still
produced it.
maintain that we just have really good taste in tattoos, and we could not fathom any of those.
I would like to stick with that.
I'm
Here we go.
sticking to
Terrible
it.
segue. Terrible
I've got
segue.
one too, if you
know
need
what
one.
else we have good taste in? Movies.
I was going to do the same one.
Yeah, we're equally mediocre podcasters.
Yep.
Anywho, so Tawny, your topic that you brought to us was movies that changed your life.
Yes.
So, do you want to just talk to why you wanted to talk about that and kind of explain your topic a little bit?
Well, I can explain the topic a bit. I might lead into a natural discussion because I feel like I could just film lecture. It's a really, really intense passion for me, and I don't want it to be like that. So I've been obsessed since before I can remember, allegedly. I've always been obsessed with film. I wanted to be a part of it, be performing, be just somehow involved in it. I think it's one of the most incredible mediums for storytelling, and it's something that I'm really passionate about. As a voice actor too, cartoons and anime have had a really big impact on me. Films just had a really big impact on me, and it's something that I can talk about all day. If anybody just talks about film, I've pretty much seen every movie, and it's something that I can just really share joy in discussing with others. So I thought that would be fun to bring to the show.
Yeah. Steven, you want to go first with a movie that has changed you?
Yes. I think this would have been I realized when I was thinking about it earlier, I was like, I think I would have been more I would have spoken at length more about TV shows that changed my life.
I think that counts though.
Oh God, if we're talking TV shows that changed my
Yeah.
life, geez, I could go on for hours and hours about that.
I think that totally counts. I think you could talk TV. Why not?
Well,
I mean,
I
it's my topic.
mark out a couple of these things. Yeah, you do what you want.
You do what you want.
Well, here, I'm going to definitely write down a couple of TV shows then. But
Do you want me to talk
first-
while you're writing things down?
No, I mean, I'm good. I was going to say first and foremost, movie that changed my life and kind of shaped a big part of who I am, which I feel like most people are going to find silly, is Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yes, of course.
Because that movie, I remember being young and realizing that style of humor was something that I really enjoyed, and it was clever humor, it was witty humor, but at the same time it was the stupidest humor that you had ever seen in your life. I to this day can recite the entire Holy Hand Grenade monologue when he's reading from the book of armaments. There we go. I can still do that whole thing because I'm obsessed with that movie. And so I feel like that one really shaped who I am when it comes to, I guess, can we call ourselves comedians? Are we comedians? I don't know.
I think so, yeah.
When it comes to that sort of thing, it shaped my sense of humor and my comedy in a way that not many movies have.
Yeah, I mean, I can go off that as well if you want me to. For me, it was hard to come up with one comedy because I think there's a genre of comedy that is, although it's definitely more in the stupid humor range of just being really silly. What I liked about all of them, and I mean, Monty Python was one of those for me, but I mean, I'm just going to list a bunch real fast, Dumb and Dumber, Waterboy, Anchorman, Dodgeball, Kung Pao, just all, I mean, even to some degree, Space Jam. That's a different realm to some degree, but just comedy movies that watching them and watching adults be able to still have fun in a way that not often do you see adults, in front of others have fun. I've talked about this with Steven so often, but for me, I'm just a person that I like to be the same person no matter who I'm with. And so that's why, Tawny, even though we didn't know each other before this podcast, I'm going to immediately act as if I'm Ryan Atwood from the OC. And that's because I would do that with anyone that was one of my closest friends. And it's because I want to be true to who I am. So often you see like people, what people like the most is just enjoying watching people be laid back and goofy. And they're like, oh, wow, they're more like me. I think everyone is goofy. People are just a lot of times afraid to admit that because it's like an insecure thing. And so seeing a bunch of adults in different ways bring joy to people and be goofy really encouraged me that I could also do that too. And I could live my life in a way that wasn't, I just had to, while I was a kid, I could be a kid, but when I got older, it was time to put those things away. And so that's why so many comedies had a huge impact on me in that way. What about you, Tawny? What's something that moved you?
Same thing with comedy. Like I love everything. I can talk about any genre. Like comedy is like probably the biggest one for me more than anything as well. That's like, I have a little list of like the movies that like, changed my life, and there's so many comedies on here. And I think a lot of that is because there is like this level of intelligence that you have with like comedy and comedians that it's different than other genres that you'll see. There's also, I've heard people talk about before how a lot of comedians struggle with depression and like self-loathing and that kind of a thing, and that's how they use it to chant. Like some of the funniest people they've said on some documentaries I've watched about comedy and comedians, they're some of the most like miserable or depressed or self-loathing, and that's how they channel it. And it's like this people-pleasing thing too, where it's like, I think Robin Williams said something like that, where he was like, you're like that little kid on the playground and you want people to laugh with you before they laugh at you. Mm-hmm. And it's like that had such a big impact on me, like listening to that and like seeing that and seeing this, like Monty Python, that intelligence that comes with it, and like Mel Brooks and all of those classic comedies that you can see like the process going into it. And with comedy so often too, like even like, Seth Rogen, like some of the stuff that you mentioned, you can see that like that passion in those films too. Like they love what they're doing. They are so in love with performing and making people laugh and making people happy, and it's contagious. Like you feel like you get them. It's like, I don't know if you watch that ever, like just as like comedians or anything. Like we all do like humor in our jobs, I consider my podcast a comedy podcast. And that was something that had always been like a big thing for me too, was like, it was like a shot of dopamine anytime I could make anybody laugh. Anytime I can make somebody like laugh, I was like, like I'm like, oh my God. Like it was like, I just got an award. Like it's the coolest thing in the world to be able to do that, because you're bringing that happiness to somebody. And I think that has to go a lot with like a people-pleasing personality. But at the same time, it's like when you're watching those films, you're like, they get me. Like they get it. They totally get it. And you can just kind of like feel that connection. And
totally,
it's the coolest thing.
That's awesome. So I was trying to think. Okay, so for me, comedies were some of the ones that have shaped me the most, but I did want to provide some other ones too. Steven, before you go in your TV shows, did you have any other movies that you wanted to go into?
I mean, movie-wise, two stuck out. One was, and the stage production. Hey, I'm going Broadway. Surprise, surprise. The stage production was way better, but the movie was meh. But the movie was important to me, which was Rent. Growing up in the Bible Belt, growing up conservative, Rent shattered a lot of stereotypes for me, and shattered a lot of things that maybe growing up I had believed that I in no way no longer believe. It, like I've always said, without getting too political, like it's no secret, like Rent was the beginning of Stephen's road to being like the jolly little liberal that he is today. Like, I mean, it was just something that kind of changed my perspective on people, because it showed me people who I had never known, because I grew up in such a kind of sheltered little area. The other one is, again, no surprise to anyone who knows me, is Star Wars. The original trilogy, specifically The Empire Strikes Back. That movie shaped so much about values for me and how I view friendships and how I view friends as family specifically. One thing, even as a kid, that like resonated with me was getting super nerdy. Everybody's seen Empire Strikes Back most of the time. Scene on Dagobah where Luke is not done with his training, and Yoda's just like, you can't go. Like, you're not done with your training. You're not ready. And he's like,
before you go, let me do my downward facing dog.
Exactly.
Luke.
Downward dog.
My name is Yoga.
Well, speaking of Mel Brooks, yogurt in Spaceballs.
I
is
was
one of my
gonna
favorite
say.
characters. But
Buy the merchandise.
Spaceballs the flamethrower. The kids love this one. No, but he basically is like, you can't go. You're not ready. And he's like, I have to go. Like, they have my friends. They're my family. Like, and it spoke to me as a kid, and it still speaks to me today of like how I shape my friendships and how I treat my friendships as more familial than anything else. And so, yeah, I mean, none of those probably shock anyone who knows me. But yeah.
Well, I can tell you too that yours kind of, for the same reasons that you picked yours, one that just kind of gave me a small introduction to a different world when I was younger. I mean, this is not the most well-known movie by any means, but it's called Hardball. It's with Keanu Reeves.
Yes. G baby.
Yeah, and pretty much, I mean, if you haven't watched it, I would encourage you to watch it. It just kind of shows people from just different worlds, and there's one character in particular that just their life is a very moving thing in itself. So that as a small kid being raised in a more rural environment, kind of just seeing a lifestyle from a completely different part of the country was really moving, and it really made me think about a lot of stuff and open my eyes to it's not just how I live in the world. So there was that one. The only other one that I can say, and this one, Stephen, you may be familiar with only because I've talked about it because I found it while we were roommates together.
Is it In the Mix starring Usher? Because that's all you talked about while we were roommates.
No, I did really like that movie though. It's actually, so it's a Ricky Gervais movie, and it's called The Invention of Lying.
It's so good.
Yeah, and the thing, pretty much for those who haven't seen it, what it is the story is so unique, and it's unlike any other type of story I'd ever heard before. And it was Ricky Gervais lived in a world where that no one lied. And it wasn't that people chose just to not lie. It's that the idea of lying was not even a fathomable thing. So everyone had to be direct. It wasn't, again, a social thing. It was people did not even know. I mean, it's the idea of almost everyone walks forward. No one would even imagine to walk backwards on a regular basis. Like, it just doesn't even it's not a fathomable thought. And in this story, his character, he's in a desperate situation. All of a sudden, he just invents the concept of telling a lie. And because no one would expect anything other than truth, they're like, oh, yeah, well, if that's the case, sorry, no problem. And just kind of went along. And then pretty much from there, it's just it's the world has changed because of him lying, and everyone is just so interested and intrigued by this character. And for me, what was so like life-changing and transformative about that, even though it sounds crazy, is the idea of being able to invent and see a different path other than the path that was laid out before me, just because of the way society works, the way that the culture you grow up in, everything from family and friend expectations to, it encouraged and inspired me to think, is there another way that I can invent myself that goes to what's most truthful to who I am? No pun intended, truth. But and it was just a really inspiring thing of saying, wait, even the path that I'm living, so much of it isn't really dictated by me. It's dictated by everything around me. And so it was just a really, really thought-provoking, life-changing thing that I've consistently thought of. And it's not always I go specifically back to that movie, but I know so many of those thoughts really came from that movie. And thoughts that I had been feeling for a while were almost just justified and validated when I watched that, and I went, this is exactly what I needed when I needed it. So so those are the two other big ones for me that have been an impact, but we also want to make sure our guest tells us. Tawny, what are some of the biggest impacts for you?
I know, I feel bad because like I wasn't sure what direction it was going to go. I have like 17 movies like on a list.
Just list them out.
But like I could do like really, I wasn't sure if it was like I should go like in depth with a couple or if I should just be like rapid fire, like this is why you should watch these, like Tawny's film recommendation.
You do you.
But the one that like the film that like really changed my life was The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, very specifically. They came out, those movies, when I was in elementary school, and I didn't really get to like see them until I was like in junior high. And it totally, I remember walking into the living room and my parents had this like big flat screen and they're watching The Two Towers. And it's the scene where Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas are trying to find Pippin and Merry, and they're running across the fields, and you have like the music and it's like this big helicopter shot. And I remember just seeing that, and it just like something inside of my chest like started to ache, you know, and I was like, that's filmmaking, like that's an amazing shot. And like I said, this had been like a lifelong passion, had been like film, and I either wanted to like be in them or do something with them. And I remember seeing that, and I'm like, I need to be involved in that. Like, I need to be working with Peter Jackson. Like, I was like, I need to be doing this. And I went on to like explore all these different paths in my life before ending back up in entertainment. And like, they were great. And it wasn't anything that was necessarily like something that was like bad jobs or anything. But I was always drawn back to that. You know, like I never really like had that fulfillment that I now get, like being able to be in entertainment. Like, you know, as a voiceover talent, a lot of people think it's a lot more glamorous than it is. And it's totally not. Like most of my day is like, you know, step 1, remove the applicator from the this, that, and the other for the hair color. Like I do a lot of like explainer videos, but I love it because I'm performing, you know, and it's like I'm creating something. And it just, if you're not doing what you're passionate about, for some of us anyway, some people are like, I just want to go to my job and then be able to have money to, you know, do my fun stuff on the weekends. And that was like never enough for me. And it started out with like Lord of the Rings. Like that was something I remember watching for the very first time. And I was like, oh my God, that's what people mean by filmmaking. Like everything else is a movie. This is a film. So,
that's cool.
It was really cool. And then, a funny one is like The Princess and the Frog, is because I felt like it was like my life story. If you're familiar with the Disney movie.
Oh yeah.
Like it was like this girl that wanted to like own her own business, and she was like working herself to death, like long hours, and she sings this song about like almost being there. And I went to go see the movie when I was just starting my first business, and I was like exhausted and it was like killing me. And I'm like, she ends up okay in the end, and I'm just like crying in the theater with like these toddlers. I'm like, she gets me. Her name even starts with a T. Like, her name's Tiana. I'm Tawny. And like it was a really powerful movie because it was like Disney made a princess movie about women in business, and she goes on to accomplish her dream, and she gets her business, and she doesn't let anybody stand in her way, and she has all these obstacles. And like this little cartoon when I was like 19 just had like the biggest impact on me on that. And I was like, hell yeah, it's like climb a mountain and cross a river and almost there.
It's amazing to me how something like a film that most of them are an hour and a half if you really average them out, how something as simple as something like such a short amount of time in one day can have such a lasting impact that like truly deeply affects you. And I feel like part of it has to do with just sometimes it's a matter of seeing it to be able to believe it, you know, and even though it's scripted most of the time, unless you're watching a documentary or it's based on a true story, even when it's scripted, sometimes still just seeing it helps you be able to like visualize it, you know? And I think that's the thing that like, I'm a big sucker for the big screen. So I love watching movies like in my house or something like that, but going to the movie theater, I don't know what it is about it. You know, I mean, sure, there's probably a lot of sensory stuff, but it's just something about it's truly not just the experience of watching it. It's the experience of like being present and and especially when it's moving. You know, it's like a moving film, and like I don't know if any of you have ever been in a movie where you're crying and you look over and other people are crying, and you even have like that weird connection with them of like we don't know who we don't know who each other are, but we can both acknowledge we're feeling the same thing in this moment, you know, and even that's pretty beautiful. So yeah, I love movies. I do.
I totally know what you mean. It's like it's almost that immersion that you get when you go into the theater because it's dark and it's so big, and you have to put down your phone. You know, and you're focusing in on it. It's all encompassing. It's everything that's around you. You're in it. It's a part of you. Like a good film will do that. Like I am so jealous of anybody that got to see The Revenant in theater. Can you imagine? Like, did you guys get to see The Revenant in theater?
No, I had friends that went and saw it.
I did not because bears scare me.
Oh my God, I have a total thing with bears. I have a total love-hate relationship with them.
So you get it. You get it.
I actually carry bear mace.
Whoa. Wait,
Yeah,
are bears even located in San Diego?
They were in Oregon.
Oh. So you just decided, you know what? Just in case those bears somehow are able to travel down from Oregon, I'm prepared.
They're terrifying. Oh my God. It's like I want to see one, and I never want to come across one at the same time. Like we've gone through Yosemite and the sequoias, and they're always like, okay, watch out for bears. And I'm like, oh, they can get into your car. You know, I'm both terrified and fascinated by them because, like, if you read anything about them, they are like, they could be man's greatest enemy. Like, they can climb, they can run, they can eat through a car. Like, it's like they're
really?
Yeah, no, like, look into this. I've done some research late at night.
Some bear research.
We're moving up to Oregon, and I'm like, there's bears. And like a couple of weeks after we moved to Oregon, and I'm taking little old me and my little old dog out on a walk. And one of our neighbors we hear in the newspaper, like 3 streets down, had a bear in their front yard. And I was like, okay, it's time for Alaska Guard. And so I never stopped carrying it, just like, because there's so many people too where we live where dogs are off leashes just all the time. And it's like, my dog's not going to protect me. She's a liability. I have to protect her. So it's like,
so your thought process is, well, if this thing can take down a bear, then it can take down that little golden retriever real fast.
Oh, you get it. See, that's it too. Is I'm just like, well, I'm little and my dog is little. You know, we look like walking victims walking down the street. So now we just carry bear mace like really proudly. Like we're just like, just try. This will take down a grizzly
Tawny.
bear. You think you can stand this?
Also known as Puppy Destroyer.
Well, that's the saddest nickname ever.
I want to hear her like vocal stuff of, first you take the bear mace out, you point it directly into the puppy's eyes.
Not the puppy,
you spray
the
that
ferocious
little bastard
dog.
as hard as you can.
We
heard it.
So
it's
many
on the
dogs.
record, Tawny. We know what you said.
We've had so many dogs, like dogs chase us down the street off leashes, and the owners just watch and laugh. Like nobody
Dang.
puts their dog on a leash. Yeah,
That's
and they're
so
just like,
intense.
oh, haha, she just wants to say hi, and I'm like, I'm gonna mace your dog.
So wait, you're located where? San Diego?
We lived in Oregon for 9 months, and now we're back in San Diego for George's health.
But where are all the loose dogs at?
Oh, just everywhere I've gone. And I've talked to my friends about this too. Is your neighborhood that way?
Yeah, there's dogs all over the place just running around off leash.
So what you're saying is the Baja Men were not making a random song just to make it. They were actually doing a disclaimer, a public disclaimer to warn people.
Please. Put your dog on the leash, please.
Let the
law.
dogs out. We're tired of being chased.
I've had an issue with it for like 2 years, and that's where I was. And like, I've called the cops, I've called animal control. They laugh at me, and I'm like, fine,
Whoa.
I'm just gonna carry bear mace then because I have an 8-pound Chihuahua, and I'm not much bigger. I'm like, there's just dogs chasing us down the street.
Well.
But like now I'm the crazy lady with bear mace, so everybody just avoids me, so it works. It did exactly what I wanted it to do because I don't have to hurt anybody.
I don't even know fully how to respond to all the things I've just been told.
You're learning so much.
Who let the dogs
told
out?
you.
Bear mace, bear mace.
Bear mace. It works. I've never had to use it. It's intimidating on its own.
Are you like actively like holding it out? Just constantly saying, I will spray. This is bear mace, not normal mace.
No, it's a big tube. It's huge. It has a big bear on it, and it says Alaskan Guard. And I just I walk with it like this, and there's this one guy in our neighborhood that just always has his German Shepherd off the leash, who used to be a police dog, and he just doesn't care. It's just fine. So I'll walk by him, and I'm just all slowly, with the mace, I'm just I see you. I was I see you. And he's always kind of holds his dog.
Just yes, okay.
Yeah, no, he was good morning. And I'm good morning. Don't mind the mace.
I will end your dog.
Well, it's I'm not strong enough for the stick that most people carry. I'm going to be So it's that wasn't really an option.
Wow, I don't know. Maybe I just live I'm in a different place. I don't carry any mace. I don't carry any sticks or anything. I'm open prey is what you're telling me right now.
Well, no, it wasn't.
You are.
I would have said it was crazy until it was consistently happening once a week. We would get chased by a dog. Yeah, and because it sounds insane. I'm totally acknowledging that. It sounds ridiculous, but once a week there would be some at least 40-pound dog chasing me and my little dog down the street. And I'm I have no idea. I don't know that dog and what he's going to do.
No dog chases me and my dog if I go for a walk because my dog is 100 pounds. He's big.
Right.
No dog is just I'm going to mess with that.
Exactly. See, and if I had that, I wouldn't carry mace because I'd have a dog that could protect me, but I don't have one.
That's fair. I have seen him pick up a pit bull in his mouth and fling it.
There you go. I want your dog to come on a walk with me and my dog.
To end our podcast with the imagery
Remember that dog fight
of poor puppies being thrown in the air because of Steven's dog.
You can totally edit out my bear mace story.
No, it's the most beautiful story. In fact, I think the episode, one of our early episodes was called Randy Johnson Bird Terminator. I think this episode is called Tawny Platis Puppy Terminator.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think I'm the puppy protector.
Well, are you? I think that's the perfect way to
recent
bring it
events
around.
May seem to prove otherwise.
No, I've never maced a dog. I've just threatened.
Puppy threatener.
Okay,
Okay, great.
Threatener.
Okay. Maybe this isn't a 1-to-1 correlation here, but I could say I've never killed anybody, but I sure have threatened.
Yeah, exactly. It's Ray Romano.
Yeah, I've never killed Ray
That's
Romano.
Chris's tattoo,
but
by
I
the
do
way.
have a gigantic tramp stamp that says in bold, Arial bold, "I'm gonna kill you, Ray Romano."
Like I said,
It was Ariel Bold.
I would not carry it if we hadn't had the issue for it was 2 months. It was 2 months,
you don't have to
once a
explain
week.
yourself.
That's what
Puppy
all
destroyer?
puppy murderers do.
The puppy
That's what they
murderer.
all do. Wait,
This
not
is taking
murderer.
a very
Sorry.
this is
Yeah.
taking a very dark turn.
Take us out
So
quick. Take us
dark.
out.
I regret sharing it.
No, you should never regret anything you say because we're just going to needlessly make fun of you for the rest of your life because we love you. I
Wouldn't
think
happen any other way.
I'm gonna get us out of here before it gets really, really
Before
dark.
we get maced.
Yeah, exactly.
Before you get maced, really.
So if you have a topic for discussion that you would like to hear us talk about, or a mental health check-in, or Tawny is sending you threatening letters and you really just want to get the word out to people,
We're here for you.
you can email us at isthisadultingpod@gmail.com.
You can follow us on Twitter at isthisunderscoreadulting. You can find us over on Facebook, either at our page, or if you want to check out our Is This Adulting Best Friends group, you can totally do that as well. It's a great group to be a part of. And also, if you can just spread the word by subscribing, rating, and reviewing us on iTunes or wherever it is that you get your new podcasts. Not new podcasts, just podcasts.
Yeah, I think we're just podcasts now. We've been around for a little bit.
Yep, that's true.
We are still currently entirely listener supported, so if you like what you hear, please consider clicking the support the show tab on our website, isthisadultingpod.com. We have tons of cool rewards, like I don't remember what Chris's was, but I'll color you a picture. Chris's was something odd. He'll do a voice for you, which is not as valuable as a picture, but hey, he'll do it.
Debatable.
So we have exclusive content and that, and much, much more that you receive in return for your support. If you've enjoyed Tawny, I will be recording something with her and posting it for our patrons at $5 or at the $5 level or higher sometime later this week. A little bit after, toward the end of the week, so it should be up maybe beginning of next week when you're hearing this. And yeah, go check that out. I have no idea what we're going to talk about. I my wife is leaving town, to be honest, for 3 days, and I'm really anxious about it. So Tawny agreed to get on the computer machine with me and just kind of talk about whatever.
The computer machine?
Yeah.
Check it out, or I'll bear mace ya.
Yeah, exactly. Tawny's gonna come after you if you don't listen to the episode. So who knows? It could be about anything.
Poke us
We could
on
be
the
talking
computer
about-
machine.
Yeah, exactly. It's how do you do this? Well, no, we've literally not talked about what we're going to talk about, so who knows? But anyway, for now, we would like to thank the collection for the use of our theme music, The Borrowers, off their album Ars Moriendi. Tawny, thanks so much for coming on the show. We hope you had fun and we didn't hold you up too entirely long and that you enjoyed your time.
Thank you so much for having me. I've been wanting to come hang out with you guys for a while, so I really appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, of course, and you're always welcome to come back and hang out at any time.
Because
Yay.
we'd be worried you'd mace us otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. We'd be
I
really
stumbled
afraid
through
of
that
it.
insult.
Yeah, you did. It didn't work, but
I know
it's
you
okay.
did.
We
I'll
let it
leave the
slide.
bear mace in the bag.
And with that slightly veiled threat, that's going to do it for us on Is This Adulting this week. Wow, that's a big crack of thunder. Y'all hear that?
No.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, now I just sound like I'm losing my mind a little bit.
Boom! That's a big crack of thunder.
Boom, there it is. I thought you were going to start singing the boom. Here comes the boom.
All right,
Ready
we
or not.
have just got to end this, or else.
Yeah, we have got to bring this down. Okay, so all of that is going to do it for us this week on Is This Adulting. I've been your best friend, Steven.
I've been your best friend, Chris.
I've been your best friend, Tawny.
And remember, kids, be happy, stay healthy, and go hug someone.
Because you never know. They may be on their way to get a human centipede tattoo on their foot, and it's your mission to stop them at any cost.
You've destroyed her.
You heard me. Stop them. I don't care what you have to do. She'll even let you borrow her mace.
I was going to say, I have some bear mace you can use.
Oh, God.
Yeah, what if
Have
I
a
had just
good
done
week.
that? Because you never know. She's going to mace you otherwise.
I'll mace ya. I'll mace you real good.
First, apply the mace to the human's face. Sorry, all right, we're done. Bye!